And welcome back to Sports Weekly on IEMG. It is college football here in San Bernardino as we're talking San Bernardino Valley College. The Wolverines here in 2024. SBVC actually opened the season last week on the road going down to San Diego Mesa. The Wolverines falling in that game by a score of 65-0. We'll see if they can right the ship this upcoming week as they come back home opener against Southwestern from Chula Vista. So SBVC trying to get their first win, also trying to get their first points of the season after that tough loss on the road down at San Diego Mesa. Well, if the Wolverines can bounce back in a big way, you've got a front row seat if you don't want to head out to SBVC to watch the game in person, but we encourage you to do that. If you can't, you can watch it live on IEMG, SBVC and Southwestern going head-to-head this Saturday at 6 p.m. We will have it live at IEMG. In fact, we'll go live at about 5:45 p.m. with a little pregame show leading up to kickoff as the Wolverines, Southwestern, the Jaguars trying to get their first win of the season. SBVC has a new head coach, Nate Turner. We had a chance to talk to him in the preseason about his coaching philosophy and what he expects from the team this year.
Coaching came to me because it's competitive, gives me a chance to still compete, but more importantly, make a difference. You know, you want to have an impact, you want to find what your purpose is. And I think as I was a player, a student athlete, I had coaches that made a difference in my life. So I'll never forget those guys. Those guys were mentors to me and leaders. And so to have a chance to do something like that was rewarding. And so coaching was a thing for me, and that's what I want to do the rest of my life.
You know, you mentioned Antonio Pierce at Long Beach Poly, of course, the legendary John Robinson. Who are your coaching influences? Who are some of the guys that you kind of pick things up from that you implement in your own style?
Yeah, you know, without schematics, because schematics change through the times, obviously, but it's just how you approach young men. And Cornell Ward was one that was extremely influential to me, is how he approached, inner city at-risk youth that went through the community college levels of football, where some of these kids' hearts are broken when they don't get scholarships out of high school. And then they realize they got to go to community college, and some of those kids come in entitled. And they feel like, well, you guys owe me something because I was supposed to go to USC or, Notre Dame or whatever, and now I'm here. And then you got kids that are extremely humble, and they feel like this is an opportunity for those kids. But more importantly, it's shaping young men. It's giving those kids an opportunity to see life differently, to see value in themselves again, to pour life, speak life into them through love. And that's what I experienced as a student athlete with Coach Ward. He spoke love into all of us. He called his babies. So that was just something that always resonated with me as a coach, father figure to a lot of fatherless young men. So especially in these inner city climates, and so to be a vehicle for some of these kids to not necessarily go to the next level and play in college, but just to learn what it's like to be an adult, to learn what it's like to, have a job and have a responsibility and go out in the community and be productive and have something to show for your time under, the coach's purview. You'll remember a coach for the rest of your life, because of the discipline, the work ethic, the adversity, and how to navigate through some of that rough terrain. And those life lessons that coaching sport provides for you. So building those relationships and having the ability to do that year in, year out was very attractive to me.
Coach, obviously Herm Edwards famously said, you play to win the game, right? And I know you're at SBVC to help the Wolverines get some wins. Just hearing you speak right now, it sounds like you're a coach, you're going to make them better football players, you play to win the game, but it sounds like at the same time, there's bigger goals. There's bigger things, outside of football to get these young men ready for real life, right? The real world, be outside of football. I mean, as a football coach, is that part of the process, like getting to know them and groom them and, make them better, all around people?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. I think as educators and teachers or coaches, so to speak, we all have the same objective, is to create opportunities for young people to be successful. And I think that football is a byproduct, or sports or winning is a byproduct of the work that we put in to show them what winning looks like. And it's not necessarily on the scoreboard that reflects whether or not we're winners, but how you approach the game, how you approach your classroom. You can win and by getting up early and getting to class on time. You can win by being a good teammate. You can win by being a good person in the locker room. How you are in the community, how you treat people, how you handle conflict resolution, and all the things that life's going to throw at you. You have an opportunity to win or lose every single day. And I don't look at it as losing. I look at it as learning. If we don't learn from it, then we lose. And so there's W's, there's wins and losses in life that we experience. But I think when you have a position like this in leadership and you have a platform, you want to share that message. You want these kids to know that we're going to win on a football field. Winners as men. We're going to be winners as people. We're going to approach the game of football as winners. We're going to tackle the classroom like we tackle out on the football field. So how we approach life and doing things the right way with purpose and substance and being very intentional is the way you find W's on the football field. You're building the culture. You're building the holistic approach to the game of football. And then football is just the byproduct. Football is the fun stuff. We go out there with a bunch of winners and we end up winning football games.
Coach, how would you describe your brand of football? I mean, maybe it depends on the guys you have out for the team, but is there a certain way you want to play? Like you a run-heavy guy, spread them out, score a lot of points, defense first? Like how would you kind of describe your brand of football?
My philosophy in regards to scoring points and things like that, I think players need to be on defense. Because defense can turn into offense. As you know, you get a pick six, that's points. You get a fumble recovery, that's points. You get a short field, we get a good kicker, we get points out of that. So best players definitely need to be on defense, and then we'll put some guys on offense to kind of try to keep up with some of these fast, high octane teams. But for the most part, we want to build a team that competes at the high level, can manage the clock and be smart. And take advantage of some of the weaknesses. We want to exploit teams. We want to put a quality team out there that shows that they are physical, they're tough, and they're going to fight all the way through the end, and they're going to do it together. And that's more the identity that I want people to see when they see SBVC on the opposite sideline. We got a whole bunch of stuff going over here at SBVC, and we want to share that with our community and our adjacent community. We want kids to know that this is the place to be. We want to win the Valley. We want to make sure that our kids in our area know that we have a premier program that they're building, they're committed to, and you want to be a part of it.
All right, thank you, Coach Turner, and that'll do it for this edition of Sports Weekly on IEMG. If you've enjoyed this segment, give this video a like and subscribe to the Inland Empire Media Group YouTube channel. My name is Pep Fernandez, and we'll see you next time on Sports Weekly on IEMG.